Hello there and welcome. I'm Ole Brugger, and if you're new here, I really hope I'll earn your subscription today. As you can see, there is a lot of boxes here on my table, and I can thank Longer for sending me their B1 40-watt diode laser with all its accessories. So we're going to look what's inside all these boxes. We better get started. I'll start unboxing the laser because that's the one I'm actually most interested in, and I'm very excited about this. A 40-watt diode laser is almost equivalent to the CO2 laser that I already got. So let's see what's inside the box. We got a quick start guide. We are going to need that. Whoa, this is a beautiful machine. I like this anodized aluminium. The color looks really pretty. And this is the business thing. Let's take good care of that so it won't go anywhere. We also got an air pump. The air assist is one of the most important things when using a laser cutter. It will blow air directly on top of the material where you're cutting. It will keep the cutting area cooler, and it will prevent fires. Not actually, it will reduce the risk of fire. You can still put stuff on fire if you're putting some material that is very flammable, but it will reduce it, and it will also make sure that you will get more clean cuts without the sodding. So air assist, thank you Longer for putting it in the basic kit, because this is very important and I would never use my laser without an air assist. Also got a power supply, and that's actually a heavy one. 24 volts, 9 amps, power cord. Silica. Do not eat this. A hose for the air assist. Another important safety is eye protection. This is an open laser, so keep everybody out of the room where you're using it, and don't allow anyone else in if they are not wearing eye protection. You only have one pair of eyes, and if you're getting hit by a laser, it's gone. I'm just sorry to say, it's just gone. And it can't come back ever. Keep your eyes safe. And here we have some getting started materials. USB stick, SD card. Then we got some strips and tools. Screws and more screws. USB cable. We will need that to connect it to the computer. And keys. So unauthorized persons can't start the laser. Good thinking. And then we have the frame itself. I think I'll just put all this stuff on my table and remove this box so we can move on to the next box. Next box is the honeycomb, and this is also a very important thing when using a laser. And this should cover the full cutting area of the laser. This is also very important. This is the bottom plate for the honeycomb. And if you don't want to ruin the table where you're placing this laser, well, don't put this on, because whatever it burns through, it will burn all the way through, and you will have cut marks and scorch marks on your table. So put this on. The next box here is the extension kit. And I'm gonna be challenged around this because I don't think I have room for it. My first initial test of this laser and the assembly will be without this extension, because I just want to test it out, but it's very nice to have, and in the future I will have room for this, and it's gonna be awesome. Air hoses. You need longer air hoses because it is a bigger cutting area. And we got an assembly guide. We also need longer belts and cables. This is huge. This is standard length and you will get twice the size. We're going to cut some big things in the future. And then we got another box. I think this is the overhead cam. I've never had such thing before, either on my... Yeah, I have one in my 3D printer, but never on a laser cutter. We got some camera instructions. There is an arm, a measuring tape, some test materials. I think this is a 3mm plywood and a calibration card. I think this is a calibration card. And this must be the camera itself. It's actually heavy. I wonder if this is just a standard webcam, but there's one more thing about this longer. They make their own software for their laser cutters. You can still use Lightburn and LaserGrbl and stuff like that, but I'm very curious about having a look at their software. And I bet there's something about this cam I can use in there. But we are not done yet. There is still a couple of boxes we need to open. Oh, we got a box in a box. Now this is some nice packaging. The rotary extension user manual. Oh, this is nice. We got some tools, some Allen wrenches, screws, yet another measuring tape. We got inches and centimeters. A block of foam. Connection cables, a nice little level. I think this is an awesome tool and it looks so cool. And the quality of this, it feels heavy, sturdy. That's a very important thing if you want precision. So I have very high expectations for this. I have to admit, I have never tried using a laser cutter on this rotary extension or any rotary extension. This will be the first time for me. And one final box. Let's see what's inside. This is a tent, or actually it's a cover to put over the laser. I don't know if there's any kind of protective transparency so the laser won't shoot outside of it. I have another tent that I tried on my other diode laser and it was not safe. It took care of all the ventilation and air. It was not safe. I'm considering building my own enclosure. I will probably do the same thing for this one. This is a tent. On the picture, I don't think this transparent look-through thing is a safety glass, so you will still need your safety glasses. We got some fan ducts, tent poles. I think this is a power supply for the fan, another fan duct, 3D printing light. Ooh, nice. Well, lights, you can't have enough of that. Either if it's for a laser cutter or 3D printer, it's always nice to have some lights. I'll try to get all this sorted out and we can start to assemble the laser. First, we need to attach the X-axis frame on the left frame and right frame. And this is very easy. It just slides on and it has some very nice rollers. And then we can attach the front frame. It is very easy, but just be aware there is two different kinds of screws that you need. There is 12mm and 16mm length, and you have to put them in right. The 16mm will have to go into the front, and the 12 have to go into the top. Same procedure on the right side of the front, and then we can attach the back sides the same way. And then we have the trimming belts. We need to turn the laser frame upside down, making a tiny loop on the belts and get it on the wheel. And there is also a tweezer in the toolkit, and you're gonna need that to get the belt around the front wheel. Now we just need to attach it to the slots on the X-axis. And repeat on the left side. And make sure they are equally tightened in both sides. There is a screw where you can loosen and tighten the belt. There's two limit switches. One is for the Y-axis and the other is for the X-axis. Both of them are nicely marked on each cable. Now we just need to connect the rest of the cables. And this one is for the X-axis motor and one for the Y-axis. And then for the laser head, there is two connectors that needs to be attached. And now we can do some cable management. There is already some Velcro strips where it's very easy to attach the cable. We just have to make sure that it is long enough that the X-axis can move all the way. And finally, to secure everything, there is some zip ties included in the set. The hose for the air assist will also need to be attached. And this is very easy. There is a quick connect on the hose and a bracket to hold it in position. And then we just need to zip tie everything down. But just be aware that you don't tighten these zip ties too much, so it will squeeze the hose and you have no airflow, and that's not good. I have now moved the laser out in my workshop, and I just need to do one more thing. The honeycomb is just directly on top of the metal plate, and I'll need to raise it up a bit with these wooden pieces. It's very important to have some airflow underneath the honeycomb so you won't get scorch marks. Now I need to connect the power cable for the air assist and the hose to the pump. I've also connected the power supply and the USB cable for the computer. Enable the emergency stop, turn the key, and press the power button. I set up a test in LaserGrbl, and I am just running it with maximum of 2 passes. I started out using some 2mm plywood, and I actually think this looks okay. I just had problems with the air assist. It didn't turn on as I expected it would. But now I'll run the same test with some 3mm plywood. And I think this did pretty okay, but I still need to fix the air assist. And now to the big one. This is a 6mm piece of plywood. I'm quite impressed. It almost went through with 900mm per minute. That's better than my CU2 laser. I moved over to Lightburn and tried to make an engraving. I know I shouldn't use an air assist on engraving, but let's try it anyway. I just want this to work. When using the air assist engraving, you can see there's all these black dust marks. Most of it will fall off, but sometimes you'll need to use a piece of sandpaper. Turning off the air assist when engraving will make you skip a step of work, so it will speed up the process. Now I just need to cut this out. I really love this. The engraving is nice and deep, and the reason why it looks a bit pixelated, that's my fault, is because I was upscaling a very tiny image. This was the basic setup of the longer B1 40-watt laser. And first impressions, they're good. Actually, insanely good. I haven't worked much with diode laser, and I just recently bought a 20-watt laser, and it was okay. It did its job and it wasn't that fast. But this laser handles the same speeds and thicknesses of wood like my CU2 laser, and this will actually be a replacement machine for my CU2 laser in the future. I will still keep my CU2 because it still has some features that a diode laser can't do. For daily use, this will definitely be my machine. It was very easy to assemble and to set it up. I think I spent 1 to 1.5 hours and I was up and running. Unfortunately, the software Laserburn that Longer developed themselves, I couldn't make it detect the laser. I don't know what was going on. Maybe I need to update the firmware or something like that. I didn't have much time to debug anything, so I decided to use Lightburn instead, and I'm getting quite familiar with that software. In the future, I will give Laserburn another chance and see what it can do if I can make it connect. One last thing that really annoyed me about this laser. I can live with it, but it really annoyed me. The fan is just blowing all the time. When you are turning it on, it's on full power. All the preparing for getting ready to make a cut or an engraving, you have to listen to all this stuff here. Longer, the only thing I have to say, you need to fix this so it will only use the fan when it's running a cut or engraving. The noise is the only criticism I have. Overall, I'm very satisfied with this laser and I can highly recommend everything. And sure, the noise was very annoying, but you can just put some ears on. I did because I am very noise sensitive. We're not done testing out this laser. This was just the basic setup. In a future video about this Longer B140 watt diode laser, we are going to build an enclosure where I can have the extension to get the full cutting area that this machine actually can do. There will also be videos where I'm using this laser for some of my projects, for my Dungeons and Dragons, and maybe even my Heroes of Might and Magic 3, the board game. There is still a lot of stuff to do. And laser cutting is becoming a tool that is going to be a more daily use on my projects because it just speeds up the process. And I want to thank you, Longer, for sending me this laser and letting me try it out, because this is just an amazing tool that, yeah, I don't know how I could live without it. If you are interested in buying a machine like this, I have a couple of links in the description below. And if you already haven't done it, there's a subscribe button, not the one flying up here. That's just to tell you that you have to press the button down here and it shows how to do it. And then give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment below if you have something to say about this test. This is it for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon.